And there we are. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you guys have had a good day. Actually, I ended up having a very low key day today. Very low key. But there's my notification that I'm live. That's actually kind of funny that they're going to let me know that I'm live. Well, thank you. Hopefully, other people are getting that notification as well. That would be nice, right? All right. So before we jump into anything, I would like to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would like to ask you to all be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here. The other thing I would say is, just if the trolls come in and say anything, please ignore them. Don't interact with them because that's what they want. We'll just let the moderators take care of them. All right. So I thank you for that ahead of time. All right. So we get here. Nostradamus is here. Dale from Ohio. JJ's in the house. Kimberly Swanson. Tree Saw. Lemon Brick. I don't need Sonia Klein. That's a long one. Sorry. Carol Prince. The Garden Life is here. All right. Dale from Ohio. So welcome everybody. Glad to see you guys all here. All right. So I've heard different things. We'll like jump right into this tonight. Okay. I've heard different things. I heard certain people from people that they're in their areas. Some people were acting up. There's videos of people already showing their behinds. And then I've heard other people say, like Walmart has amped up security. Somebody was saying that the self checkout registers were all closed and that you actually had to go into a line, that there's been extra security. And, I just bought another case of green tea. Very nice. Good for you, son. That's the best way to do it. Got to buy it by the case. I usually buy like 8 or 12 at a time when I go get my green tea, just so I have more than enough that I need. So, but anyway, so I've heard, that there is definitely amped up security. Well, when you have people, okay, I mean, let's be realistic. If you're going to do something illegally, right? Are you going to come on and announce it to everybody? This is what we're going to do. I mean, how stupid can you be? How stupid can you be? Um, I don't get that. The last thing I would want them to do is to know what my plans were. Oh, I'm going to go steal from the store, so I'm going to go announce it online and tell everybody we're going to just go in there and take what we want and leave. Well, I mean, Walmart deals with enough theft already, a huge number every year of theft. That's why it costs the rest of us that don't steal, right, more to buy things for the scumbags that do steal. So, yeah, it just that just kind of blows me away, and it's I don't know, I don't get it. I was in prepper shopping mode today. I got over 200 cans of cat food. I'll make sure they eat too. Oh my God, that's funny. I don't blame you. No, hey, you know what? My stocking, it's not. See, here's the thing is what I try to explain to people a lot of times when it comes to stocking up in prepping. It's not like the food prices are going to go down, right? Like where gas prices will go up and then they come down and they go up and come down and they play that little game with us, right? Food prices don't do that. We have shrinkflation, so smaller packaging, same price, or then slowly the prices go up. So when you have the bottom of the jars of whatever and they're concave now, they're not flat anymore because it makes it look like it's still a big, decent sized jar, but there's less in there. That's shrinkflation. Okay. And food prices have not gone down anytime So things are as expensive or more expensive than they've ever been. So if you do stock up, I mean, that's just smart to stock up. It makes sense to stock up because in that way, like I said, you have it, you paid XYZ price, and now when you go to replenish or get more or whatever, it's probably going to cost more money. So it just makes so much more sense to do it that way. But I don't know. People just think everything's going to be wonderful forever. But I had a comment. I talked about it earlier in a video I did earlier today. Oh, and first of all, I have to apologize for the video earlier. I did see that it was sideways when I went to put it up, so it's not like I didn't look. But when I made the video, it was on the right setting. Every once in a while, it does go sideways. Hey, Crafty. I heard Clay, West Virginia, and other places in West Virginia had National Guard handing out food because no welfare payments going out. I have no idea. Thank you very much for the donation. Thank you for the statement. I haven't left the property in the last couple days. That was my game plan right from the get-go. So I don't know if they're doing that or not. So I'll talk to some people and I'll try to find out what's going on down around, down in this whole area. But I hadn't heard anything about anything like that. So, but yeah, it's just there is an issue. Okay, it's not fixed. It's not magically because some judge says you have to do this. It doesn't mean that it's so. There is a process, and if they want to try to slow that down or stop that, they can, by going through the channels. Just because a federal judge says, well, you have to do this countrywide doesn't make it so. Okay. I want to make that clear right off the bat. They can still appeal it, drag it out, make it longer if they want to. Okay. So, and again, even if they can force, let's go back to that. If they can force them, this judge can force the government to use that 5.2 billion, excuse me, that's reserved for natural disasters or whatnot. There's still a shortfall because there's 9 billion a month. And I never had any idea, folks, that it was that much per month going out in food stamps. I mean, that is outrageous. It is unbelievably incredible that it's that much money that is going out each month for food stamps. I had no idea. But it's you look at that. So even if they're forced to use that money, they're still going to come up 3.8 billion short. So we have found several salvage food stores around here that can pick up dry food pretty cheap. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. They make the bottom of the container thicker so it can weigh the same 12 ounces. I'm gonna tell you what, I just had picked up. I love cashews. Honey roasted cashews. They don't like me because and I've said this before, peanuts for me, nuts of any kind, they are a natural laxative for me. So I have to eat them sparingly. Okay. I eat them. I still love them, but I pay for it when I do. So I bought this container of cashews, and where in the olden days, right, the bottom would be flat. This bottom was concave. So it was, it definitely was not as much as you used to get. So it's just that was what was making me think of the shrinkflation thing with that. So what do we got? We're 278 in the chat. We got 83 thumbs up so far, guys. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate that ahead of time. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well, and I thank you ahead of time. The state most likely to be the one that is paying the most SNAP benefits in individual states, like the lasting decision to make SNAP benefits. The state most likely paying the most? I would say California, just because it has so many more people than anybody else. That would be my guess. My guess would be California, but just because of the population, they have so many people out there. But here's I had somebody made a comment saying that, oh, the first, because and no prepper channels are talking about food stamps anymore because it was a big nothing burger and nothing happened. And I replied to them, right, and I said to them, it's one day. It's one day, right? um you know the effects, like I said, when people are getting their benefits, it's going to depend on when they get their benefits. If your benefits ran out on the first, then you didn't get benefits on the first. If they run out, and they're supposed to reload on the fifth or the sixth or whatever day, um and you didn't get them, that's why. So it's like it's not going to affect everybody at the same time. I would think it would be a running race between New York, Illinois, and California, but they got a lot of people and they're very blue. California is larger, population wise than any of the other states. I mean, New York City has a lot of people. I mean, that one spot in New York has a tremendous amount of people. But I guess I'm blocked and you didn't see my comment. I guess you're not blocked because I'm seeing your comment right now, Mike. I have no idea what your comment was. Guys, if you want something to stand out for me, please all cap locks so it'll stand out a little bit better. Really does make a big difference with that. So thank you for doing it that way. But I think we're in the very early throes of this whole thing. Yeah, I can see you, Urban Prepper. Can you see me? uh, During the time that Snap is shut down, Doge will go in and investigate the waste, which they should. Doge should be going into every aspect of the government, folks, including the military, including Social Security, in any of these organizations where billions of our tax dollars have gone for, and then they're putting it out for things, and you got to believe that there's got to be kickbacks. I'm not saying that there is, but it would not surprise me. Okay, it would not surprise me. uh you know but anyway, it's just with the way that this situation is breaking down, it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, because this one federal judge in New Hampshire, I believe it was like, they're supposed to come back to her with what they're going to do. And so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So this week will be, I think, a really, really interesting week when it comes to how things are going to go, how people are going to react, and all those type of things. So I think it'll be really interesting to keep an eye on that. And again, if you do need to go out and if you do need to go to the store, please use caution. If you are able to protect yourself, protect yourself. Okay. Don't be stupid. Keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention while you're in the parking lot of who's around you, all those type of things. Just be really, really cautious. That's the biggest thing. There are people going online saying we're going to go out and rob white people, and again, I'm sure they're rocket scientists and they're probably very intelligent people that are going on there saying these type of things, because all us white people have all the money, not that we're struggling and trying to make it paycheck to paycheck and take care of our families. Oh, no, we have it on easy street, of course. It's just the mindset of some people is beyond comprehension. I don't get it. And again, you know, that you would go online and tell people what you're going to do. It's just, it's amazing to me. And it's just like those people, okay? After Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and they went online and celebrated Charlie Kirk being assassinated. Now, You are entitled to your opinion, and you're entitled to free speech. So if you want to go on there and act a fool and do stupid things, you're perfectly able to do that. But what they did not expect, a lot of these people, that there would be blowback from that. That people would see Easy Street. What's that? I don't know. I missed that turn, Carol. I missed that turn a long time ago. Um, but that, that people that saw that and were outraged that somebody would celebrate the murder of someone, that they would contact these people's employers and say, do you want this type of person working for you? And a lot of them, the employers decided, you know what? No, we don't. And so a lot of them got fired. And then they all came on again online crying how they got fired. Well, you reap what you sow. That's what it comes down to. I mean, that what's that? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? I mean, you really have to be in a position where if you want to speak, and the thing is, again, you want to speak your mind, speak your mind. Um, Dude, you missed my comment. Okay, I saw that now that it's all cap lock. Do it again, Mike? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, and I believe karma. That is absolutely karma. I've always felt if you do evil actions to people, it will come back and bite you in the behind. Karma is a mofo. Really, really is. Mike, go ahead and throw your comment up again for me. I'm looking for it now, okay? So I did not see what you said. Well, you got a lot of things going on here, and it's not just obviously the food stamp situation that's going on. What about all the air traffic controllers that are not getting paid? They haven't been paid in a month now, okay? So what about them? They're all still working, right? How long, and it's a reasonable question, how long do you think that they will go, hey, yeah, we'll just keep working for free and not, and just let it go? But, it's just at some point they're going to be like, no, we're not doing it anymore. You shut down air traffic, that's going to be huge. You know what I mean? If they decide, okay, well, since I'm not getting paid, I'm not going to work, which I don't blame them if that's what they did, you know. What are we at? 353 in the chat, guys. We got 137 thumbs up. Again, we're going to shoot for 300 tonight just because why not? It's a nice round number, and we like that number. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. Like literally, if everybody that has not done it yet did it, we would be over 300 right now. So again, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms, and I thank you for that reason as well. And also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time. What's going on with all these grounded flights? No air traffic controllers, Carol. People are getting tired of working for nothing. You know what I mean? What? People are getting tired of working for nothing. And can you blame them? When you go to your job, do you expect to get paid? I know I do when I go to, whenever I'm working. That's what I'm not doing it for my health. I have bills to pay. I have, family to take care of and all those type of things. When the kids were little, it was up to me, period. Yeah, my child, she always wants my attention. Yes, you do. You're a good girl. I'm rubbing her chest right now, so she's very happy. She's being actually good tonight. She's not being a lunatic like the other night. Are you? You're not being a lunatic. You're being a good girl. Yes. Yes, you are. All right. You got to go down, baby. Come on. That's enough. Down, down, down. Good girl. So, anyway, so yeah, that's why you're having more grounded flights, because these guys are like, they're showing. Okay, so I got to ask you guys, because I watched this movie last night. Okay, I watched this movie last night. Absolutely amazing, I thought. Hated the ending. Hated the ending. House of Dynamite on Netflix. How many have you guys have seen the House of Dynamite on Netflix? Oh yeah, they broke them back in the day. Absolutely, I remember that too. Yeah, they wanted more pay, and they fired them all. The government fired them all. Bobby Farron says saw that last night. I watched it last night too. Screwy ending though. Yeah, I didn't like the ending either. Yeah, House of Dynamite. It was like it's an hour. What's it? Almost a 2 hour movie, and it's going from different perspectives of the same type of event that's happening, lead to the event. Um, amazing, amazing. But the ending absolutely sucked because you don't know what happened, and that's what drove me nuts about the ending. But it was. It was absolutely an amazing movie. I would highly recommend watching it because, that's a dose of reality for people. And that could happen. Very easily could happen. So, but yeah. So, but yeah, I was just like, wow, it was wild. In putting yourself in that situation, the acting was fantastic. I thought too. By the way, so if you get a chance to watch that movie, please do so. So, Mike said I sent my comment again. I must. All right, let me look back here, Mike. I got to see what you're talking about here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. I am not seeing your comment. Maybe YouTube is not putting it up. Let's see. Give me one sec. I'm not seeing it, Mike. Oh, here we go. I've been a long time watcher, first time commenting. Social Security is next. They also got rid of fuel assistance across the whole country. Okay. I don't. Okay. Thank you for that comment, Mike. I hadn't seen it earlier, so I apologize. I don't know about Social Security being next. You know, and if they got rid of fuel relief as well, that you know, I hadn't heard anything about that either, to be honest with you. So, but there, I think with the whole food stamp thing, I think I think the issue with that is there's so many people that are getting it that should not be getting it. That's part of the issue, and I think that's why part of what's going. I mean, we got to be realistic here, okay? And I love how I was listening actually today. I was listening to Nancy Pelosi, and she's blaming the shutdown on the Republicans. And when the host, whoever was interviewing her, said, "Well, it's a clean CR," and she goes, "No," she's like, "It's not a clean CR," and she goes, "Well, what's not clean about it?" And then of course she dodged that question. So what it comes down to, the reality of the situation is this: they put out a clean CR. They want to extend the government for the 7 weeks so they can negotiate and figure out what they're going to do, right? And that's the Republicans' game plan. The Democrats are like, no, we want this. We want the continuing subsidies for the health thing, and they're not budging on that. So they're not letting the government reopen. So the reality is, if you look at it realistically, guys, all right, the Republicans and three Democrats, have voted to do the clean CR for the 7 weeks so they can continue to negotiate. The Democrats are saying no. So whose fault is the shutdown? Absolutely, in my opinion, right? My opinion, 100% the Democrats' fault because they're not willing. They were like, we want this and that's it. And if you don't give it to us, we'll keep the government shut down. So that's a Democratic shutdown. And these are the same people like Chuck Schumer that said it is a terrible thing to shut the government down, that you shouldn't shut the government down because they're playing games with people's lives, and that's the part that sucks more than anything else. Like I told you guys, my mother lives in a senior high rise, right? So she's got her own apartment. It's all independent people, and so there's a lot of elderly people living in that. It's they're people that are on a fixed income. Their rent is based off what their income is and stuff like that. A lot of these folks get food stamps. A lot of them do because they don't bring in enough money to be able to take care of themselves. Well, with a government shutdown, that affects them as well, okay? And because they're not getting their food stamps. And so it's not just mothers and children and stuff like that. And I saw another one today. And I feel for the kids, folks, okay? I feel for the kids, and I always will. I think it's horrible that if there's an issue with the food stamps, that they're not going to be getting food stamps. I think that's terrible. But when mom weighs 400 pounds, okay, and she's saying, I don't know how I'm going to feed myself or my kids, that really kind of irks me a little bit, okay? Because obviously, mom ain't missing no meals. And not everybody. So I know some of you will come on here and be like, oh, well, she could have a thyroid problem. Yeah, you know what? Not everybody's got a thyroid problem. Some people have, I need to push away from the table problem. I need to put the fork down problem. That I shouldn't keep the refrigerator right next to me problem. Okay, that's what a lot of people have. And so, that's where that irritates me. Okay, because obviously you're not suffering. Well, yes, it is. Yes, one of the 10 deadly sins. That's one of them. Gluttony. So, but it's just the kids not getting enough food is a terrible situation, and I'll be the first to admit that. I think it's a horrible, horrible thing. Okay, but when you have these people that come on there and they're great, big, huge, fat slobs, guys, I'm 225. All right. And, once I get to about 225, I really start to feel it and I don't like it. I don't like the way I feel. I couldn't imagine being 300, 350, 400 pounds. At what point do you not stop and look in the mirror and go, oh, whoa, hold on now, and I'm pretty active. So it's not like I'm just sitting back in a chair and just eating all day long, so so when people, like people, oh, well, you're fat. Yeah, I got a gut. Exactly. Sure. But I'm active. I'm active every day. I have to be with my animals. I can't take a day off. I can't go, you know what? I'll just keep the dogs locked up all day because I don't feel like letting them out. I'll keep the chickens. I won't give them any food or do anything because I don't feel like it, You have to have some kind of motivation to do something for yourself. And a lot of these people just don't. And they're lazy and they don't want to do anything. And they want everybody else to pay for it, which is just, that's wrong. That's just wrong, And again, I've said this before and I will say this again too. Welfare, food stamps, all that type of stuff should be a hand up, not a hand out. And so what do I mean by that, right? Down on your luck, it happens, folks. It's happened to me. I've been many times in my life that I've been down on my luck. Things haven't gone the way I hoped that they would or thought they would. And you have to restart and do things over. If you need a stopgap to help you to get better, to do better, I get that. And I think that should be available. Re-educate somebody. You know what I mean? Yeah, work your tail off, Carol says. Well, but I don't like it when they criticize you, Ed, about being chubby. Oh, I appreciate that, Carol, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I do have a gut, so, but I like to eat. I'm not going to lie. I like the reason I'm fat is I like my sweets. That's my problem. I'll be the first to admit it. I like my sweets. So, but okay, stop. No. Down. It's not only down on your luck. My son is disabled and gets $23 EBT. Yeah, that's not going to cover squat, you know. And there are people that have disabilities, and again, there's the other part of people that are going to suffer from all this right now that's going on. They're disabled. They can't work for whatever reason. But it just too many people. In being honest, too many people take advantage of the system. So they play the system. They're getting that free ride, and then they just sit back. And it's okay for the rest of us to work our butts off all the time and try to stay ahead and go from there. So, but anyway, this situation with the food stamps, I don't believe is going to get better. I think it's going to get worse. And I honestly, and I said this the other night too on my live stream, I think it's going to get worse by design. They want it to get worse. They want things to be bad. And I really think that that's what we're looking at. They want people to riot. They want people to be upset and demanding and flip out. What can you do then, right? You can enact martial law. You could not enact martial law across the whole country, all right? We've already talked about that before a million times. It's really difficult to do. But you can control the highways, right? You can't control the secondary roads, or you could try certain secondary roads, but now you're talking a lot more manpower. But if you stop travel on the main roads, that's greatly going to reduce what people travel or restrict it, right? You close up the cities, you could definitely do that. It wouldn't be difficult at all. Like you look at New York City, all right? There's only certain ways in and out of New York City. It's an island, all right? So very controllable. Now, you could have a boat, great, but then you got the harbor police, all that type of stuff as well. So there's a lot to that whole situation. Guys, we got 424 in the chat. We're at 200 thumbs up. The goal is going to be 300, so we need 100 more thumbs up. And the sooner you guys give me my 100 thumbs up, the sooner I stop asking for it. It's just a game. I just want to see if we can get that at 300. It's a lot of fun for me as well. So if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I thank you ahead of time for that. It really does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithms. The more interaction, the better. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, thank you ahead of time for that. So, and now we're at 218. So now we only need, 82 more. So, but anyway, okay, fine. I gave you a thumbs up. Well, thank you, Ace. I appreciate that. But, the situation that's going on is a situation that could be avoided. But again, I feel like it's being done on purpose, which is a terrible situation because it's an avoidable situation, but they want people to suffer. And the Democrats want it to happen because anything that Trump does, anything that Trump does is bad. It's terrible. It's horrible. Even if it's successful and good and helps, they can't fathom that. Okay. They just can't. It's just not in their DNA. They're not going to, they don't want it. They don't want that to happen. So they want chaos and, distrust and, ooh, he's a Nazi and all this other nonsense. And how many politicians have called him a Nazi, and now all of a sudden, ICE is the Gestapo. They're calling ICE the Gestapo. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're here in this country illegally, right? I don't care if you're not in here committing any crimes, right? I don't care if you're not committing any crimes. Whose fault is it that you're here and not the right way? It is your own. And if your children have lived here their whole lives, right? And then they try to go and say, hey, I love this country. This is my country. This is because I grew up here, right? I, grew up in the United States, and they want to go serve the military. They can't even do that because they're illegal, right? I mean, so, there's a lot of issues with it other than just coming across the border illegally. So there's a lot more to it than people think. But ICE is there to do a job. They're there to get the illegal aliens that are here in our country. I mean, the Democrats won't even call them illegal aliens. They're undocumented workers. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Okay. Um, and again, it's all about, did you do the right thing or did you do the wrong thing? And if you want to come here to this country, I don't care if you want to come to this country. You want to come here and do the right thing? Great. Go through the process like a lot of people do and do it the right way. And they become a U.S. citizen. And guess what, folks? I want you to realize something. You see all these, well, they're stopping and they're detaining Americans. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. If you're an American, regardless of your white, red, yellow, brown, black, right? If you say, "Oh, I am an American citizen and here's my green card or whatever," do you think they're going to keep you locked up? Do you think they go, "Oh no, 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 you can't be right. You got a green card, but you're illegal"? No. They're going to go, "Okay, sir, have a good day," and off they go. You can be detained, right? They can detain you to make sure you are a U.S. citizen. And once they figure out that you are not a U.S. citizen, then this is what happens. So, I mean, they play that game as well. At how many illegals get food stamps when millions got through the border? That's a great question, JJ. Yeah. How many illegals are getting food stamps? How many illegals are getting health care, free health care? I mean, how is it even possible? Let's go one even better, right? Let's go one even better. How is it even possible for illegal aliens that can't speak or read English can get a driver's license to drive a semi truck and they're driving those trucks across the country? Somebody explain that one to me, right? Could that be because they're coming out of California? Possibly. I've heard that that's where a lot of those people were coming from. Is that a possibility that they came out of California and, gave all these illegals, CDLs? Driving a big rig is a very, very dangerous job. Okay. And a lot of people that have a regular CDL that have done it the right way get killed every single year or get injured every single year. So, to give these illegal immigrants that can't even read the signs, that's an issue. People should be outraged. Outraged. You look at New York State, giving all the illegals driver's license. What's up with that? Right? What's up with that? See, the thing is, if you are a U.S. citizen and you are born here and you've been here your whole life, and you get detained, right? It's just a good example of this would be, okay, I'll give you a good example of this. When I was underage and I was trying to buy alcohol, you had to hope that they didn't catch you, that they didn't go, "Hey, you're not 21, you're not, or let me see some ID to prove you're 21. Hey, Eric, thank you, man, for the donation. I do appreciate it. So, you played that game. You tried to see if you could go in here or go in there to be able to buy alcohol, even though you were not 21 years old, right? But the minute you turn 21, man, proof me all day long. I don't care, because you got documentation now that says I'm old enough and I can get alcohol and here's my ID. You never had a problem giving it up then, did you? Any of you? I'm sure most of you have been proofed for identification. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. If you're a U.S. citizen and you're from this country, you don't have a problem with going, "Yeah, here's my documentation. I'm a U.S. citizen." And if I was, let's say I was Hispanic, okay, would I make sure that I had the documentation on me just in case I got pulled over? by somebody, I absolutely would, because I want them to know, hey, dude, listen, I understand what you're doing. I'm a US citizen. Here's my proof that I'm a US citizen. I'm not your problem. And guess what? They're going to let you go. They're not going to keep you and hold you and try to deport you because you're from here. It's the ones that are not. And you know, the fact that the majority of the ones that they want to go after are criminals, and the Democrats want to protect those criminals, I have an issue with that. Okay, I do. So I bought cigarettes and forgot to get the old man's beer. They carded me for the beer, but not the cigarettes. That's funny. That is funny. Yeah, the other thing that's one of the things that they did too. And this I never got. Okay, I went in the military at 19, right out of high school. I knew guys that were 18. I knew guys that were 17. That when we went in, you know, their parents had signed for them at 17, saying yes, they can go, and so they went into the military at 17 years old. Okay, and you couldn't buy alcohol, right? And now, if you are under 21, you can't buy cigarettes, but you're old enough to fight and die for your country. You're old enough to take a gun and go kill people for your government, and that's okay, but you can't have beer, and you can't have liquor, and you can't smoke a cigarette or a cigar. That's insane to me. That's insane to me. I don't get that. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. You got beer and you got alcohol. You know, even if you were not 21. You know, when I was in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, it was 21 for liquor and it was 19 for beer. So I mean, I was able to buy beer, but they never proofed me anyway. If you bought it on post, they had places. You know, you had the stores that you could go into, but they also had like little wagons out that I don't even call it a wagon, but it was like a little shop, you know, where literally like one person would be in there and they had beer and cigarettes or whatever else. And, you know, it was like you'd just go in up to the thing and say, yeah, I need a 12 pack or whatever. And you got your 12 pack and you walked back to your barracks and drank your beer, you know. So, JJ Shoppits. Yeah, yeah. I couldn't remember that. It's been forever. So, you know, I mean, I am old. So, but it was like that's what they were. So I'm standing in line one night and I'm waiting, you know, to get my beer. And there's another, you know, it's all guys on post. It's all soldiers. We're all in uniform, right? So guys and girls. Um, and so kid behind me, he says, "Hey man, would you do me a favor?" I go, "What's that?" He goes, "You know, I'm not old enough to buy beer." He says, "If they don't, you know," he goes, "Would you buy beer for me?" I said, "Listen, man," I said, "You're in uniform. They're going to sell you the beer." I said, "I'll stand over here and wait. And if they don't sell you the beer, then I'll buy it for you. You're old enough to fight for this country. You're old enough, you know, to drink." That was my opinion. I was 19 or 20 and he was 18. Okay. Um, he went up, got it, came up to me. We did a little fist bump. I said, "Man, have a good night." And off he went and off I went. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, that's the whole, it's a whole different thing, whole different mindset. It should be. But I'm jealous. I've never been carded even when I was underage. Oh, that's too funny. I got away with it a lot. You know, I still got, yeah. Yeah, I got away with it a lot when I was underage. I was going to bars at 16, you know, when the drinking age was 18. So, Lamb's Light, Ed, I do not agree with you. You don't have to agree with me, Lamb's Light. That's okay. That's the beauty. That is the beauty of this country. You can have your opinion. I can have my opinion. It doesn't make you right and me wrong. It doesn't make me right and you wrong. We can agree as adults to disagree. That's the beauty of being an adult. So, oh, I do agree. I'm sorry. Lamb's Light, I did read that wrong. You are correct. So, yes. So, see, now you're a genius. No. All right. No, you're good. I'm sorry. I got to mess with you on that. My mistake. I apologize. I see that you did agree with me. But again, that's my take on it, you know. So, All right. We're at 418 in the chat. We're at 264, so we need 36 more thumbs up to hit 300 thumbs up. So if you have not done so yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. And again, it really does make a big difference with the algorithms. The more interaction we have on the channel, the better off for the channel. It just pushes us up higher in the algorithms. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do egg count right now. So 14 hens. Again, how many total eggs today? Yes or no for Miss Betty White. And how many of our 3 Easter eggs? We have 3 Easter eggers. How many of them laid today? So what was our Easter egger total as well? So total number, yes or no, and how many Easter eggs did we get today? First thing I do is click the like button. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in, and we will go from there. So we're 25 away now on the thumbs up, guys. Keep them coming, please. All right. I'm going to tell you what, I am shocked that somebody got this right today. I did not think somebody was going to get this right today, and I will tell you why here in a second. If you had the same guess as Mimi, which nobody else did, 10 eggs today, no for Miss Betty White, and 4 Easter eggers. It's the second time now I've gotten 4 Easter eggers. So congratulations to Mimi. You are absolutely correct. You have won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. I was really surprised that somebody got that right because, you know, Betty's pretty consistent, and I don't normally get 4 eggs out of 3 hens. So, yeah, so I saw a lot of you were like 10, yes, and 3. A lot of people had 10, but yep, so Mimi is the winner. That's pretty well. I'm surprised. I'm really, really surprised. So, but and that's only the second time it finally won. Yeah, there you go. That's only the second time they've given me 4 eggs, the Easter eggers. So I was like, because when I got the 4th one, I was like, oh, look at that. No kidding. So, but anyway, going back to the whole thing with the food stamps, folks, I think we're going to be seeing an uptick of violence. I think you're going to be seeing an uptick of check behind the coop for Betty, right? Exactly. Check behind, you know, we're going to see an uptick in violence. We're going to see more thefts happening because if people can't get their food stamps and they can't get the money that way, they will steal, get things that they can sell that they can use to get whatever else they want. Now, I'm sure they'll make sure that they get their hair done first and their nails, you know, and all that, and their fake eyelashes, because I know that's so important. You know, that's the first thing I look at a woman and I go, God, you know, she would be really, really hot if she just had fake eyelashes. I can't remember ever saying that. It's not usually the first thing. I like them. Don't get me wrong. I think some of the women that do the fake eyelashes, it looks okay. So, I mean, you know, don't take that the wrong way, but that's not what I'm looking at first. All right. It's not what I'm looking at first. Yeah, be you, be who you are. You know, that's kind of my thing. You just be who you are. You know, it's just, hey, listen, I cannot help it that I am devastatingly handsome. It is not my fault. You know, it's a curse, folks. It's terrible. It's something that I have to live with. How many Easter eggers do I have? I have 3. I have 3 Easter eggers. So, but oh, love the shirt. Yeah, I got to show you. So I'm too sexy for my hair. That's how come it isn't there. That's right. Uh, yep. But you do have to have the right kind of head. You got to have the right kind of head. So, got to have the right kind of head. Oh, I missed something up here. Hold on a second. Let me go back here and look at what somebody said. Yeah, so JJ was saying that some of them were saying that they would go after people coming out of stores. So, yeah, that's again paying attention to where you are, be situationally aware. You know, keep your iPods or whatever you're putting in your ears out. Pay attention. Stop. Stop. No, not now. But I don't even like shaving anymore. Oh, that's funny, Yvonne. That is funny. But like I said, again, if you live in a state where you are allowed to protect yourself, I would please make sure you protect yourself. And if you can give billions to Ukraine and Israel, no American should ever go without food. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. We should. How many times have you guys on here heard me say we got to stop giving money to all these other countries and we need to take care of ourselves? I've said that a million times, and I still stand by that. I don't care what the rest of the world wants to burn themselves down and kill themselves all off. Let them do it. We need to take care of American citizens, the people in this country, get the drugs. And the thing is, it's with the drug addicts, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again as well. With the drug addicts, it's not just the drug issue, it's the underlying issue of why they're taking the drugs. That's what has to be dealt with. Why are they doing it? Why are they? Because all alcoholism, drug addiction, it's all to cover up pain. That's what it comes down to. So you have to deal what's causing you this pain, work on it, deal with it. It sucks to deal with that. It does, okay? And it's not fun to have to process that and deal with that, but it needs to be done in order to break that cycle of addiction. So and we have a bootlegger in my town. In the 60s, she would sell to any age. Well, she's in her 60s. Okay, that's that's what they do. So, what do I think of the President Trump sending military to Nigeria? I think I just made that clear. We need to take care of our own country and not worry about all these other countries. Let Nigeria burn themselves to the ground. We do not need to be there. We are not the ones that need to be taking care of everybody. Village Home says scored 3 20-pound propane tanks from a coworker today. Best of all, they were free. That's awesome. You bringing them down, brother, when you come? This actually next weekend is already the get-together weekend. So, yeah, we need to take care of Chicago, not Nigeria. There's a lot of places that need to be taken care of in this country. There's a lot of issues. We got to clean it up. We need to, world police. Well, we're the modern day Rome, Mr. Rose. That's who we are. We are the modern day Rome. So we're at 290 on the thumbs up, guys. We need 10 more to hit that 300 mark. So let's keep that. Let's get that up there. 10 more to go. But you know what? That's what they're saying, right? We're sending these troops to Nigeria to save the Christians. It's not our problem. We don't need to be putting our troops in harm's way. It's not our business. It's just not. Okay. Nigeria needs to stop the genocide of any group of people. It's not our responsibility. It's that country's responsibility. So, no, we don't need to be the policemen of the world, folks. We don't. We need to take care of our own. We have enough problems with our own people here and the stuff that's going on here, and the galvanization, the hatred that's in this country. It's just insane. So, but that's my take on that. So we need 4 more, guys. 4 more. Oh, the SNAP issue is just starting. The funding might last a couple of weeks. Help those who can help and keep your head on a swivel. Yeah, if somebody came to me and, you know, they were a neighbor and they needed my help and I'm able to give them that help, I'm going to help them. Okay, because I'm in a position to be able to do that as far as food goes. So yeah, would I do that? I absolutely would. Okay. If you have extra food and you want to take it to a local food bank to help out, I would recommend doing that too. You know what I mean? It's just we got to watch out for each other. So, bald is beautiful, baby. My grandmother has a plaque. There's a few perfect heads in the world. The rest are covered with hair. Exactly, Robert. Exactly. That is a very good point. Very good point. Yeah, term limits need to be put in place for these politicians. It's not supposed to be a lifelong job. Yeah, we're at 302. I see 302 on the thumbs up. So thank you guys. I appreciate that. If you want to push it higher, I'm okay with that too. So, but yeah, we hit that 300 goal. So that's awesome. But yeah, people should not be going hungry. There's no reason for that to happen. We can grow more than enough food. Now, somebody had said that we stopped buying extra food from one of the programs that got cut was buying excess food from the farmers so that it didn't go to waste. Um, I think we need to be doing that because, again, you know, how about Jamaica? They need our help more. We need to worry. I don't know how clear I can be. Let me say the shirt says, okay, I'll show you guys one more time with the shirt. I'm too sexy for my hair. That's how come it isn't there. So that's just that. I actually think that got sent to me. Somebody sent that to me. So, but we need to take care of America. I feel bad for the people in Jamaica, right? I think it's a terrible thing having to deal with a Category 5 hurricane. But that's not our problem. That's a Jamaica problem, right? Should we go in and rescue Cuba as well? Because they still got hit by that hurricane as well. Wasn't a Cat 5 when it hit Cuba, but should we like ship in all kinds of stuff to them? We need to take care of our own first, period. End of story. If we have extra after that, then sure, let's help other countries. But we need to take care of ourselves first. And that's it. I'm so sick and tired of we're all this deep in debt, and yet we have to still pay all kinds of money for everybody else. You know, giving $40 billion to Argentina. Why? You know, it's not our job to bail them out. I don't know. Like I said, to me, it's just we need to take care of our own, and if we can do that, and we can, get people squared away and help those that want to be helped. If you're homeless and you don't want the help, that's great. Go be homeless and don't ask for help. You know, I know there's a lot of people that go out and I watch one guy's channel, and I think he's out. I don't even know where he's at, to be honest with you, but he goes out and he will feed homeless people. He'll say, "Are you hungry?" And they'll go, "Yes. What would you like to eat?" And he'll go and he'll get it for them. I think that's awesome. I think that's a great thing, and it's a good thing because that's something that is helping. There's another guy that I watch occasionally, and I can't think of his name either, but he'll even go one further. He'll give them, what do you need? Socks, underwear, tarps, blankets, a sleeping bag. He'll do all that type of stuff to help people out. And I think that that's awesome. But again, if you have people that won't help themselves, you know, no matter how much you help, it's not going to change the situation. So, I mean, like I said, again, it's always comes down to choices. It really does. And if you want to get the help, there's a lot of organizations that are out there to try to help people. And I think that that's a good thing. But like I said, I have no issue if I see somebody begging, I will ask them, "Are you hungry?" Because I'm not giving you any money, but I will buy you something to eat. That I have no issue doing anytime, but I'm not, like I explained to you guys before, the ones that were sitting there and smoking cigarettes, begging for money, and they have a dog with them as well. you're not that bad off. You know, you're not. So they're just begging because that's what they do. That's their hustle. And, I've dealt with that a lot. Try living in a city and dealing with that. Any of you guys that have ever lived in a city, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's always a hustle, some way or another. So anyway, guys, I am going to leave you with my favorite saying, STD. If you set realistic goals that you can reach and you work one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time, you can reach those goals. And the only person that's going to stop you from reaching those goals is going to be you. Work methodically towards it, get what you need to get it done, and you're going to be just fine. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you guys are being safe. Be smart. We'll see what happens here moving forward. The next week should be really, really interesting. And we'll kind of go from there. But keep your heads on a swivel, stay armed, be ready, and just do what you got to do. All right. I will talk to you all later. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse One out for now.